good afternoon and welcome to Jolly Live here on CEMTV. How are you doing? I hope you're having a very wonderful afternoon. I hope you are having a great day so far. It's been rather fair weather, not too much rain, too much sunshine. It has just been cool. And of course, I'm sure you are enjoying the public holiday. Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim faithful out there. I do hope when I get home, I told you in the morning that I'm expecting some one or two things. You understand? Some make them all, But who knows? Perhaps you are enjoying the public holiday as a Muslim faithful, or maybe you are not, a Muslim, but you are celebrating with the Muslims around you. I do hope you're having quite the day. I am Emmanuel Tamanot Henry, but you can call me Tammy for short. Of course, I'm not alone in the studio. I have with me the one and only weather oracle, Vera Phillip, here with me. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. See, I want to say something that might sound a bit selfish, but so today I predicted, or predictions say that we're going to have rainfall the whole of today. A little breaks here and there, and I don't want the rains, don't get me wrong. But just having to know that here I came up here and I told you people that we're going to have rain back to back in Port Harcourt, and all of a sudden we're having sunlight. What will now happen to the oracle upon my head?
I don't think it undermines your anointing.
I know. But for this particular, in this moment, I had to feel human. And I was like, how would the oracle on my head continue to, suffice if the rain does not fall? And I didn't have to think too far. The rain came down, and I'm like, yes, that's how you know the oracle. But that's like on the light note anyways. Welcome to Jolly Life. I'm really happy to be here. I'm sure you can tell we're about to have a swell time on Jolly Life right here on SEM Television. As you know, or might not know, my name is Vera Phillip. So welcome. Let's go back to Tammy. Tammy,
and of course, Vera, what is on ground today?
Hey, I don't like it when we have to pause and discuss this thing, because what do you mean we have to go through this process? But it sounds serious. Talk to me. What's going on?
It does, because lover boys and lover girls on the social media, they're divided right now because there's this lady that came online to, I don't know whether to say give advice or to threaten, because with the way it was delivered, it sounded more like a threat than it did advice. So she came online to say that you should not even think of investing in a woman. That if you're putting money into the life of a woman and thinking you are investing in a woman, that you should just take your mind off the idea altogether. So some of you that are already dating, some of you that are in a relationship, some of you that are just interested, and you fall into the category of what she is talking about, well, I just hope you don't feel attacked, because she was she was rather blunt with what she had to say, and here's what it is.
Let me just say this. Your biggest mistake as a man is for you to see a woman as an investment. Instead of you to be investing on yourself, you are investing on a woman. Pada care about money. Forget about it. Ori eti ope. And see, the worst mistake you can do in this life, Nicolo gbe oba look on family kon, kolo fe gbe sile, abu fe bere si ni nawo le lori for her to become a better version of herself. Rora feel le fawon obi e. If they are not capable, they are not capable. If they are not capable, they are not capable. Mo so temi. Learn from these women. Whoa, a woman that is desperate will use anything that comes her way. Ko care. You think you are ahead. No, you are just a means to one end. You are not even a full stop at all. A full stop, you are just a stepping stone. Kolomashi lovey. Mr. Tewo already.
Lovey. I don't even know, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how the people on social media would feel about this. Now, Are there cases of people making or laying complaints of how they had invested and invested and invested, and it seems as though nothing comes out? Yes. Are there situations where there was investment and there was return? Yes. But I think it all falls down to choice, you know? It all boils down to just like every investment. Investing in people is the same as investing in commodities. You are putting a certain sum, you're putting capital, you're putting time, and you are expecting results. You're expecting ROI, return on investment. So, and as with every investment, there is risk. So I think risk should be calculated. You know, the risk is fundamental. Even if you're going into trading, you're going into business, you're going into anything, risk is not negligible. You need to consider the risk, you need to consider the return, and then when you've put all of those into consideration, you then make your investment. But at the same time, what she's saying holds quite a bit of water, because there's something she said there that's very important. If they're not capable, they're not capable. At the same time, I believe there are people that should be given the benefit of doubt, because not every tree grows within a fixed period, Vera. Because if you want to give the same effort you give to a banana tree, to a mango tree, expecting them to, produce, as after all, they are both trees, they're both plants, this one produce faster, so this one should produce in the same way. It really doesn't align, and people should be given that same leeway. But perhaps it's a completely different story altogether.
Me, I just want to start with, girl, what happened? What's the problem? Who are you jealous of? Who are you hating on? Who did your brother? Like, it's coming from a place of, I must say this thing as it's doing me.
That was, I don't know whether to say it was an advice or it was threat, because the delivery was just right in your face. The delivery was just there.
If she was a guy, I would have said, they do this one, no. But you're a girl, sister, did they do it to your brother? What happened? Is there somebody that what's going on? But also, just like he said, what she says, yes, it holds water to some extent, but at the same time, I always say that if we are going to condition our minds to feel like, we are investing and we must get something back in return.
I mean, that's the whole concept of investing.
Or it's necessary that we are investing to get something back in return. It's at the end of the day might not always turn out that way. Like, a lot of people will always do things for the wrong reasons. Now, when there are people who just genuinely wants to invest in you, not because they want anything back for you, but they just want to impact the society.
I beg to differ, but continue.
There are people who would just invest in time, of course.
I beg to differ on that.
No, there's somebody who can just say, I want to invest in you because I see potential, I want to add to the community. You want to tell me someone can't do that? I can't do that.
That's what I'm saying. They do that because they are expecting that their investment would yield results.
Results not to them, but to the society.
Whether it's to them or not, they are expecting results.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So
what you would now point at is to say, okay, is if that result will benefit them personally. But every investor is looking at results.
Is that not the same thing I'm saying? Like, honestly speaking, when you have return of investment, what is the return of investment you're looking at?
The return on investment may not be directly to you. That's what I'm trying to say. Because like you said you can invest, but you're not expecting that. You're not expecting
for yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to point out. Not that you're not expecting any return.
No, I'm saying, like, your returns, whatever returns you're expecting, is not to yourself, but obviously to the society, or maybe to even another family or something, but definitely not to yourself. There are people who do that, who just invest in you, and that is all. There are people who, if we are being honest, invest in you and they don't look back. Like, they're not looking to see, is this investment going to pay off or anything? They are investing in you because they want to improve your life, or whatever the case is. Now, when it comes to a relationship, investment comes from a place of love. It's basically, I don't think it should be from a place of ROI. It should come from a place of love, because you love this person. What is the nature of this person, or let me say the place you want this person to be that will be beneficial to you? Is that, I'm proud that this person is at this place of my life, right? Of their life, whether they're with you or not. And I think I've said this before on the show. I've said that at the end of the day, if you're investing, you have to choose if this investment is something you can walk away from or not.
Exactly.
Not the one you invest and finish and then you're crying. And also what the ROI is. Some people invest in women because one, they want you to marry, they want the lady to marry them. Some is because they want the lady to sleep with them. Some is because they actually want this lady to amount to something, because maybe they have plans that if we get married, if she amounts to something, we can both be able to run the affairs of the home comfortably with our own money and my own money. And some people do that investment because of where they want you to be if you become their partner, or when you become their partner, because they want to feel a certain way that my partner is this way. So if you weren't that thing that they want before you came into their life, or before they came into their life, they try to turn you into that thing by investing in you, so that you become that kind of person for them, for their own ego, or for their own appearance. For all of these reasons, okay, it's personal. Anyone can choose which of them is their ROI. Now, when it is that you're actually doing it to get anything back in return, like maybe sleeping with the person, or maybe getting married for the essence of marriage, or what if it doesn't work out? That is why your ROI should be beyond that. So when we are telling people to not invest in women or any of that, why are you investing? Why do you want to invest in the first place? It's the simple question. Are you investing in this woman because you really want to naturally see her grow, or you're investing because you want to get in between her pants, or you're investing because you want her to say yes to you when you're ready to marry her? If it is on those kind of levels, then a lot of women will disappoint you. That's the truth. But if you're doing it basically to just see this woman be at a certain level, so whether things work out between you and her or not, you're going to be happy. I don't know how people see these things, but I'm always like, if I'm the one, right, and I invested so much in your life, and then things didn't work out between both of us, and then you go and you're doing your thing, I would always look back at you whenever it is I see you and feel proud that I contributed to your life. But as a matter of fact, if it's not for me, you see that bright statement, if it's not for me, you wouldn't have amount to anything. So I don't know how people imagine these things. That's why I always say, when you make investments, especially to your partners, are they investments that if things don't work out well, you can comfort? Obviously, to pay you, like, there's no need to sugarcoat it that, you're not going to be paying by it.
every human being alive, once you make a loss, it doesn't matter what it is. Once you make a loss, it will pain you.
It's definitely going to pain you. That's the truth. But then, is it something that you can let go? Is it something that is you are fulfilled inside your mind that, okay,
is it an affordable loss?
Yes, it's an affordable loss. It is something that I can be fulfilled that, I did this for this person, so therefore let's just let it go, or can I recover from this? There's another one too. Can I recover from this? Because I won't even lie, there's some men on social media saying I cannot. There are men that will have 100 million and they'll carry 100 million like that and give to woman. They don't even need to use anything on them. Just that.
There's actually a lot more to be talked about, especially on this topic. But we're going to go on a very short break. By the time we come back, we address it some more, and then we have some other topics to talk about. Don't forget, this still is Jolly Life. I remain Emmanuel Tamuno Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that short break. This still is Jolly Live here on CEMTV. I still am Emmanuel Tabernacle Tenary, but you can call me Tammy for short. Before we went on that break, we were talking about how there's this lady on social media that gave the advice to men to not invest in women that, for all intents and purposes, she was like, if you invest, you will see shege, you will see pepe. Take advice and learn from the other women that you've seen on social media. So we're talking about that here in the studio. And of course, when you hear me say we, I'm talking about myself and our weather oracle, Vera Phillip, because I'm not alone in the studio. And she shared a lot. Yeah, I still have a lot to share. We still have a lot to share. And Vera, don't you think that when it comes to investments in a relationship, because everything is an investment.
Okay.
Everything is an investment. A parent taking their child to school is an investment. A child going to work somewhere is an investment, not only for the place, but also for themselves. A company hiring someone is an investment, not only for themselves, but also for the employee. Everything is an investment. Or rather, most endeavors are investments. Now, when it comes to a relationship, you're investing your time. It may not be money. You are investing your time. You are investing your resources. You are investing yourself, your love, your emotions. You're investing all of that just for the return of, I want this relationship to work. So relationship in of itself is an investment. So when one is then investing, when I say in a relationship, it may not be financially, and they're being told to not expect return or to not invest altogether. Isn't that ruining the concept of dating, Vera? Because dating in of itself is an investment. If a man and why are you laughing now? Is it not the case? Because the goal of a relationship should be to get married. And in order for you to get married, you need to know each other. And in order for you to know each other and be friends, you need to invest time. Or you need to spend time. Let me not use the word invest time. You need to spend time together. And what result are you expecting from spending time together? You're expecting to get to know each other. And by extent, become friends. And by extent, get married. So it is an investment with a given return or with an expected return. So when you now say you shouldn't invest, because now I'm now looking outside of only the financial investment. When you're now saying that an investment should not be made in relationships, isn't that in of itself just ruining the entire concept of relationship based on the fact that relationships themselves are based in investment?
Okay.
You are investing time, feelings, and emotions to then reap the reward of marriage.
Let me start by asking a question. If you're beginning to date someone, even talking stage to start with, right? You're going to invest your time, your sleepless nights to try to get to know each other, even maybe get into one or two troubles at work because you're trying to get to talk to somebody. And at the end of the day, it doesn't work out, or this person turns out to not be your expectations. Are you telling me that because you have made investments, you're going to keep being there? Because
you're not going to keep being there. What she said was to not stay in an investment. What she said is to not make an investment at all.
So that's my point. If we do not make an investment at all, how do we move forward? That's why we always say make investments that, of course, you can let go. So let's remove money out of this investment.
Does that now mean that, okay, because it means you should not give your all in a relationship because it's more or less you're not sure if it's even going to work out?
Give your all in a relationship. Let's remove money aside.
No, I'm not talking about that's what I said from the start. I removed the financial. I will come back to the financial aspect.
That's what I'm saying. You understand?
But like outside the financial aspect.
That's what I'm saying. I'm removing money aside like you initially did. And I'm talking about the whole situation without money, right? Okay. So when you are in a relationship with someone, aside money, the sacrifices you make is time. You sacrifice your time. Sometimes if you want to go on a date to see this person,
You sacrifice
as a
your peace
girl,
of mind as
sometimes
well.
I might even like, if I want to go on a date with a guy, I might want to wear like a new dress. I might want to like use, maybe if I have how much in my account, I can take like half of that money to buy a dress, because of course I want to make an impression. That of course is an investment, because I want to look a certain way. Or even the guy might not have a lot of money, but he wants us to go on a date, and then the small money he has, he uses to, I mean, there are investments here and there. Sometimes your night, you sacrifice your night because you're talking on the phone, butterflies in your stomach, all of that. Even down to, let's just say, even sacrifices that can't even come up at the top of my head. But the essence of dating is also making sacrifices and making investments throughout that period. Now, when you're making those investments, you're not making them with this person is the person I want to marry.
I mean, you're still learning, Nasha.
You're making investments with the okay, I'm trying to see where this person, what it is that me and this person can have, or what it is that where me and this person can be, or if we can actually be together. You're having expectations.
That's
you're not
your
basically
expected
exactly
returns,
you're having expectations. You're not basically saying that it must happen. Do you get? So when it finally gets to that point that, oh, both of you have discovered that you cannot be together, and then you move on. People always say it's easier to, like, it's better for you to leave when you're dating, or when you're still talking, or when you're dating, or even if it's 8 years, 10 years, than for you to leave in marriage. And then you finally leave it. Sometimes when you've done investments for like a month, you now realize that this person, me and the person cannot work. Are you going to be there, because are you going to now be sad and then want all your investment money back because the thing did not work out without did not work out with the person?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, we are talking that we should be able to make investments, and also understand that there are every possibilities that this investment will not give you ROI. I think when we caution our mind to that, I'm not saying invest carelessly, because after all, it's not going to bring ROI. That's even the more reason why you should be very intentional about your investments. That's why you should be very intentional. Oh, this person I'm going out with, this person I want to go out with, what kind of person is she, what kind of background does she have, vice versa. Does this person align with my goals and values? Do your own background check. It's also not like a promise, or the whole package that says that, oh, this person is not going to be a wasted investment. It doesn't say that. But when you do your assignments well, when you're in that relationship with the person for the right reasons, right? When you're actually making this investment with this person for the right reasons, then there is a high stake that you can actually be making the right choice, that it might actually work when you're making the right, not you're doing return of investment, or so you're being with somebody because you want to sleep with the person afterwards. Reasons like that will definitely fail you in some cases, or because you want her to say yes to you, you're putting in all your energy, because you just want her to marry you. What about other stakes? What of making this person better? What of actually doing your background check? Because when you're making investments like that, it hinders you from actually doing the main work, which is checking, does this person look like somebody that will give me that? Is this person's background, or this person, how did I meet this person? It's just like saying somebody studied mass communication, and has no interest in business. Then because I want to invest in you, I'll now come and give you money and say, if I do business. You do not have any background in business. That's me typically wasting my money. So even if I want to do an investment in you, you're going to bring what it is that you have for me, right? What it is you can do for me to invest in. So you cannot go around investing in just anybody because you're expecting a certain return of investment without checking if there is any capacity or capabilities of this person to give you such return of investment. You just go ahead and do it because why? You're in your feelings. You like the person, or the person looks nice just as well. You are not there for the right reasons. You're not doing the right kind of search. Honestly, because we have other stories to discuss, the way and manner we would have gone deep into this conversation, I would really love to be like, let men know that there is an extent you can go. Like, do your homework. Even women, do your homework about somebody. Study patterns. No, is this person, study body language. Stop assuming things. Right, and also communicate, because another thing is studying body language and communication could be two different. You can study someone's body language, you misinterpret it in your head, and then you run with it. So communicate as much as you can, right? But most importantly, be there for the right reasons. Don't be there for shallow reasons, because that's where the problem starts from. I'm not saying that because you're there for the right reasons, you're not going to get hurt, or that your investment will spoil, or will not spoil, or anything. It will, it might. But let it be that you have done your part, your due diligence. You have done it to make sure that, oh, this kind of thing does not happen to me. But if it happens, fine, get ready to move away from it. And it should not stop you from making another investment with, of course, due diligence taken. Yes, that's my take.
Well, that's Vera's, extended talk on the matter. And we're going to go on a short break. But by the time we come back, we're going to bring you a whole new story altogether. And after the story, we'll, round up for Jolly Life. So if you're interested in what we're going to talk about next, don't go anywhere. Jolly Life will be right back.
What's on your mind today? The goal by Victor Osimhen was amazing.
The economy. Isn't that what's on everybody's mind?
I would like to see more women in positions of authority. If you heard and saw it from CEMTV, you can take it to the bank. CEMTV, your reliable source of news, information, and entertainment. What's on your mind today? The goal by Victor Osimhen was amazing.
The economy. Isn't that what's on everybody's mind?
I would like to see more women in positions of authority. If you heard and saw it from CEMTV, you can take it to the bank. CEMTV, your reliable source of news, information, and entertainment.
Welcome back to Jolly Life. I still am Emmanuel Tamino Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. And of course, as promised, what we're talking about now is a completely different story altogether. So, there was this event that took place earlier, but it's making the rounds on social media right now because of the implication of what was said during the event. It was for the Train the Trainers Summit, and there was this particular segment that had a CSP Omosetemi Akbedezukomo, and she said a whole lot about what's going on with social media, with cyber security issues, with look, it was a very, very heavy conversation, and she had a lot to say. So, the first video we're going to play for you is of a segment of what she had to say concerning or during that summit. Here it is.
We took it to the office. iPhone 16, iPhone 15, Samsung phone, and the teacher whispered something. He said, another thing is that they watch pornographic movies in class, and some of them are pressing. It took my people explaining pressing to me very well. So we went to 2 other schools, because when we pick an area, we go around it before we go back. My top landing of the top floor of my division was filled. So I asked, what's happening here? They said, parents of the children you seize their phones in school. They don't reach police station before I reach. To do what? Collect back the destruction of this generation that we snatched from their children. So I packed the phone. Dustbin like this was filled. We took it to the office. iPhone 16, iPhone 15, Samsung phone. And the teacher whispered something. He said, another thing is that they watch pornographic movies in class, and some of them are pressing. It took my people explaining pressing to me very well. So we went to 2 other schools, because when we pick an area, we go around it before we go back. My top landing of the top floor of my division was filled. So I asked, what's happening here? They said, parents of the children you seize their phones in school. They don't reach police station before I reach. To do what? Collect back the destruction of this generation that we snatched from their children.
Like I said, what she said was extremely heavy and quite sensitive, and it happens to be a reality that most, or some schools face from her experience, as she has said. And she mentioned something that was quite intriguing, which is the pressing situation, or the rise, or the prominence of scam culture amongst our children. And honestly speaking, I think the important question that should be asked is what gave rise to it and how it can be reduced. Because scamming culture has been one that has been praised for quite some time in music, from the social media role models, and of course, when it comes to most people making money on social media that have been caught, the likes of Hush Puppy. You see them billionaires making money, flaunting wealth online, only to be discovered that they're involved in cybercrime. That gave rise to this issue of cybercrime and the scam culture that we have out there. And honestly speaking, I don't want to bring the whole government talk into this one, but I don't think we can, ignore that fact. Because tell me why, as a young man today, or as a child, a young boy, the only way you can see to making money or to financial acclaim is to go into cybercrime, is to go into scamming, is to go into pressing. What happened to the confidence? Or once I finish school, I'll get a well-paying job. Now, if you think of that, you're now seen as, you're seen as delusional. It's more believable for you to think that you can scam your way into riches than getting a well-paying job. And it's like going into the extent of even the explicit videos and pictures found in the phone. She still had a lot to say due to that angle. And here's some more of what she had to say.
That guy has more than 85 Australian numbers with Onyibo faces that he's using to collect money from people. Not only that, the girl children in the school, all their porno, naked picture, where they are playing with themselves, is on the phone. So I asked him, who are these people? He said, my classmates. What do you do with it? He said, they beg me to sell for them. Mommy, check very well. You see the chart there. Her name is so. She said I should sell for her. How much do you sell these naked videos and pictures? 500,000 naira. Under our watch. Under the sky. True life story. True life experiences. I was forced to detain him and have a juvenile cell because of the content of his phone and because he admitted to being into fraud. Of course, the parents kept coming. Everybody in the world were calling me. And the school authority had to call that he has to be in school.
Like I said, the most important question is not only what gave rise to this, But how can it be stopped? And I'd want to come to Vera. What gave rise to this issue of explicit content being the order of the day and cybercrime, Yahoo, scam, fraud being the way to get money, or the most anticipated, looked forward to, and most used way of the youths to get money?
I'm going to say first off that this is really sad because I'm one person that I've always thought about the atmosphere where teenagers can be raised to work hard,
Yes.
to dream big, and to work hard. But I also understand, maybe because I come from a place where growing up I was pressured a lot, from academics to being pressured in life. A lot of people felt like I was the kind of kid that I was going to make it faster than anyone else. So it came with a lot of pressure. I was very aware of that, that mindset that a lot of people had towards me, including family, right? So it made me in a hurry to want to make it, as a matter of fact, at the time. So I'm coming from that place, and I understand how it might feel like for another child who is a teenager at this point, looking at their mates making money at maybe 16, 17 illegally, and they are not even aware what it is that they are going to do in future or become. And let's not forget, at that time of my life, I didn't know what I wanted to do, man. I didn't know what I wanted to become. Yes, I had talents, but honestly, I didn't know how to use them, what to use them for. I was deceiving myself at the time that I wanted to be. Today I want to be a gynecologist, tomorrow I want to be a scientist, next time I want to be an engineer. That was basically what the route I was taking. So I'm just imagining myself or another child that is having same issues as I did at my teenage age right now, and what kind of thought process they are having, how it is that they are influenced by the current society to feel like they're not doing enough, or that they don't belong to a certain class of people. It's very, very sad. And I've always thought about it, like, how did we deteriorate to this point? We have established things that are very, I see nursery school graduations now. It's like an entire carnival. I see even secondary school graduation. You're seeing prom. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with prom night, but you're seeing luxurious prom nights. I mean, if you go on the street of social media, precisely TikTok, you see, once it's time for prom graduation like this for the senior secondary school, you see prom nights are organized, graduation nights are organized, and you see these people wear luxurious outfits, comes in luxurious cars. We are promoting this for secondary school children who are between maybe ages of 15, 16, 17 years to be pressured to bring luxurious car for their graduation night. Or is it the one that they've established now in second? I was telling my friend of recent, I said that I thank God that I did not finish school in this age and time. I didn't finish university in this age and time. Because what do you mean for a straight 1 week? I have to wear uniform. I have to wear jersey. I have to wear corporate outfit. I have to wear traditional outfit. And I still have to wear sign out uniform. And we still have to do Thanksgiving. Ashwebi Thanksgiving. And I am a student who just graduated. Like, how are you even able to afford all of this for a week, a long week? Because you're an FIB student, because you're a final year student. It's very, like, I'm sitting and I'm wondering, how do we make things so luxurious for young people who are literally trying to survive, who are even still trying to find
people
their
who
path,
are just leaving
who are still living,
who are just entering the stage of independence.
Do you understand? How did we get to the point where we are putting so much pressure on these people? Imagine if you do not have that money. Do you know what some people have to do to have that money just so that they can feel among? So even us, we have brought up standards to even these children that has created room for them to misbehave. We've opened doors, even in parenting, that have created rooms for children, for teenagers to not even be monitored. Because tell me what pornography is doing in a teenage child's phone. Now, I'm not even going to talk about write out the fact that, oh, even in my time we didn't have people who had pornography, but it was not something that was everywhere. It was hidden. Like, if you were caught with it,
and let's not even talk about the fact that she pointed out that it was being monetized.
It was being monetized. 500,000 naira. How? I was in a cab of recent, and then there was a secondary school student. There were two of them, two boys. No one had to sit with me in the front of the vehicle, and the other sat on, and they were both holding expensive phones. And I looked at them. I remember when I was in secondary school, you were not, as at my SS3, we could not hold phones. How do we create the point? And these are day students, meaning
in school back then, you had to, when you want to use social media, you had to sneak into your parents' room, use their phones.
Now children can go to school with phones. The other day they were having, a excursion. I think something like that outside the station, outside the office. And I saw them. I was looking at the children. They were learning something about farm work or something. And most of them they were with their phones. And I was like, how did we get here? Like, did I grow up in a different environment? Like, how are you people using your phones? Like, that's literally teaching you people something. You're using your phones, And I understand that it is like, what is the trend now? Children are allowed to go to school with their phones. You're going to be focused in school. For some of these courses between 8 to 2 p.m. You want to tell me that you cannot ban phones from school between those times? I mean, there are phones in school for cases of emergency. There is the clinic. There is, of course, reception phone, maybe administration phone or something that they can use if they have to or must reach their parents. So why do children have to come to school with phones? And it's okay, it's a norm now because we are in the Gen Z era. These are the things that we have put in place, and we have unknowingly increased the test in these young people to want to see what adults are enjoying. So it is something that I remember when I was that age, a teenage child. I wanted freedom so badly. Oh, I can't even wait to be out. I can't wait to finish school. I can't wait to leave my parents' house. It's when I left my parents' house that I now said I can't wait to go. I want to go back to my parents' house. Because there was that hunger and thirst that was not satisfied at that age. It was not the right time for it. So it wasn't satisfied at that age. When I finally got the opening, or let me just say, everything began to glimmer. You will see the good and the bad. You will see everything. And you will now understand exactly why you were held behind from practicing or being a part of situations or things like that.
Exactly.
We are opening rooms and allowing these children to experience these things from a very young age in the name of maturing early. In the name of wokeness, in the name of Gen Z, we are allowing these things to get to these children and making up rooms. Imagine children that are in. My friend's younger sister was gisting me the other day that her classmates, meanwhile, they just finished secondary school like last year. Her classmates in secondary school, just bought a car. And I'm like, just bought a car? Like, how is that person lives in an estate? I can imagine it's not up to 20, or even if he is like 20. Buys a car and is living in an estate, like an expensive estate. What is he doing?
You see, this is the question that parents these days, they don't ask these questions, because if you watch the entire summit, you see situations of when she said they seized a whole lot of phones and filled the bin with those phones, all of which were very expensive, high-end phones, and none of them. All the parents that came, none of them came to question the children. And even when the parents were asked, where did they get these phones from? The parents started lying on behalf of said children. So we have parents these days, from what she explained in the summit, that they don't question the children. They don't really involve themselves in the daily activities of their children. And honestly speaking, it doesn't spell well. It doesn't spell well. But that's the most we can take on Jolly Life. I do hope you enjoyed yourself. If you did, be sure to join us on the Thursday for another wonderful edition. I am Emmanuel Tamino Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. And with this, we bid you adieu. Do have yourself a very